Oh, we're back with the Vacuous perspective. Hey-oh, it's me, Val, and I'm joined by Nate. Nate, oh man, what's going on?
Yeah, not much. Well, we're one day earlier recording than we normally are.
Yeah, has that thrown you off a bit?
Yeah, it has. It's thrown me off a lot, actually, because
no.
I understood that the astronauts going to the moon was getting announced Monday.
That's
which
today.
Is today, yes, but I think it's Monday US or something.
Which is Tuesday.
So I was kind of excited we could talk about the astronauts that were announced, but
Sorry, they're announcing the team. The team.
Yeah, I think the actual astronauts.
Yeah, so the team that's going up.
The
dream team.
Yeah, the dream team, and the dream team will include.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. The dream team will include a woman for Artemis 3 because they're going to the moon.
Should all be women.
All be women.
Yeah,
all the astronauts.
Them. Yeah, because just to make up for lost time.
Oh,
it's all blokes on the moon, right? And dogs and shit.
Yeah,
fuck it.
So far we've had. I don't know, 15 people on the moon, 15 men.
15 blokes, but bloody sausage fest up there. Let's get some ladies up there.
I heard a stat that it's more people have been to space than have seen a snow leopard in the wild.
That's a good one. I like that one.
How many people have gone to space?
How many people have seen a snow leopard? That's a better one, because if it's like 10, we already know the answer. There it is.
Yeah. 622 people have reached Earth orbit.
That's a fair chunk, but that's not the moon.
It's not the moon. Yeah, but I was just curious how many people have gone. So now we got 622 people that have gone to orbit, and they're very careful not to say. I think a few more have gone to space, but you really want to be in it's just passing into what
space.
Is defined as space doesn't count. You need to be in orbit around a planet, right?
I think it counts. I think it counts. I don't know how you could not count it. You enter space. Be that for 20 seconds or 2 hours or 30 years, doesn't matter.
But space is just an arbitrary line that we've drawn, and we say 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface is space.
I guess what I'm saying is that now that we're moving, Jeff Bezos is sending up a bunch of people every month. People are going up recreationally now or for a YouTube video. That number, the snow leopard number, is probably finite. Yeah? In that there's not many snow leopards in the world. Or they're very difficult to spot, I think is the harder thing, isn't it?
It's because very few of them and difficult to spot, yeah.
So that number's probably is probably dead now. Because we're sending up to so many people and no one's seen snow leopards.
Yeah, so how rare is it to see a snow leopard? Okay, there's fewer than 10,000.
Imagine telling William Shatner when he was working on Star Trek, you're more likely to go into space than see a snow leopard. And he went to space.
Yeah.
Just some guy, just an old bloke.
Yeah, some old bloke who played a spacefaring captain.
Mm-hmm.
So, that gives him some kind of credentials, doesn't it?
More than the average person, sure.
Yeah, so 12 humans have been to the moon. I'm not sure about this stat. I'm not sure about this stat, hey, because they're not sure how many snow leopards there are. They reckon I've seen between 4,000 and 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Only 622 people have been to orbit. Surely more than 620 people have seen a snow leopard in the wild.
Look, I don't know how they're getting that stat. I'm
like
more interested
now.
To hear the origins of that fanciful stat now. Because that's what you should type into Google is snow leopards, people on the moon, or snow leopards, people in space. Find the origin of that particular one. But I had a pretty interesting experience /week.
Yeah? Tell me, please.
Yeah,
what happened?
Have you ever seen a Jason Bourne movie?
Yeah.
He's running around, parkouring over stuff and getting somewhere in a hurry, but doing it for, some big reason.
Mm.
There was none of that.
No.
None of that.
Why was there none of that?
Oh, no. So I finished work and there was a booze bus.
Oh.
And I went through the booze. I went through the booze bus.
You went through fine. You haven't had a drink in 6 years.
No, but I didn't go through the booze bus. I went through it.
You didn't get stopped.
Wow.
Did they ask you to stop?
This is the thing. There was maybe like 7 police officers. And so the cars are all queued up in the right-hand lane to get tested.
Yeah.
So I'd be pulling up to the last bay because there's 7 police officers. 6 police officers are currently dealing with a vehicle. And he's done the wave in. But I thought he was doing a wave through.
Oh.
He was doing a wave in, come here. But I saw, in my mind, a wave through.
So you just drove through.
So I just went straight through.
Mate, they would have been onto you in a heartbeat.
So I look in my rear view mirror because I'm a bit like, okay, that's fine. You get wave through booze buses. That's not uncommon.
Yeah.
Sometimes if they're busy or if they just, they're only doing random stops, they'll just wave some people through and, whatever. I interpret it as a wave through. All I see in my rear view mirror is the police officer throwing his arms up. Like, what are you doing? That move. I'm doing it now, but my avatar isn't. Yeah. What are you doing? The arms go up. Right?
Yeah.
And I go, fuck, hang on a sec. I've just gone through this booze bus.
Holy shit, am I committing a crime right now?
Well, at that point, I think I've obviously you have failed to stop. Right. So yes. Right?
You're perverting the course of justice right now.
I put the brakes on.
Yeah.
And I'm alongside the other 6 cars now and the other 6 police officers, and I start reversing. I put the car in reverse and I start going back towards him, and he waves again to say, no, stop, like slow down. It's all good. Just stop. Okay. So
stop doing things.
So I stopped doing everything. And he comes up to me and my window's down. I'm just like, I'm so sorry, mate. I thought you were waving me through. I'm an idiot. Right. And he's like, it's okay, mate. Here you go. You just got to do this. So I did the breathalyzer, obviously. After a day at work, I'm not going to be blowing anything. So all good. He said, no worries, mate. On you go. It was hilarious, but it was frightening.
So yeah, that wasn't. Where's the Jason Bourne thing coming?
The driving through the booze.
The driving through. That is
the sort of disregard for the law.
I see. And this is like an expectation versus reality type thing for you. So you got evading capture, evading the authorities in the movies, and then evading the authorities in real life. And
yeah, the feeling itself lasted for about 0.5 seconds before.
And the intention was very different as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't intending to.
You were just driving home from work, trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, the Jason Bourne analogy really doesn't work too well.
Not evading, Interpol. And
it was, when I say I had an exciting week, this is the benchmark. This is the benchmark for the exciting week. That's all I need, a bit of excitement. That's all I need. Yeah?
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I'm glad you had that. I didn't really have anything as exciting.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't expect you to, mate.
No, that's up there.
Yep.
You're kind of like an Australian version of Trump then, in a way. He's facing criminal charges. For a few seconds you were almost going to have the book thrown at you.
Well, it was the whole thing, wasn't it? It was the whole thing. I was did the crime, evaded, right? These are all split-second things, like 0.1 of a second each. But there was a thing that happened. The law was broken, so a crime was committed.
Yeah, you were a felon for a moment.
From that moment to the next 0.1 of a second, I was on the run. Felon on the run, right? Then I was I gave myself in.
Yeah, you were in custody for a moment there.
Second.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was probably detained. Can't go anywhere until I've blown into the tube.
Then you got released.
Exonerated. Yeah. So good on you. No harm, no foul. Good stuff. I'm starting to wonder if any of my co-workers were any of those 6 that were waiting. You know what I mean? Because if they were, they would have seen me do the drive-through, the stop, the reverse, and the blow, and the release. They would have saw all that if they were there. Now, no one's come up to me and said, bro, that last Friday, oh, that was amazing. No one said that to me yet, but I'm not counting it out either.
I tried to do some homework.
Did you?
Yeah.
So did I actually, to be honest.
You? Yeah, what was your homework as far as you saw it?
When you said you watched Outlast the other week,
yeah,
I just thought, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I watch the rest of that show?
Because you started it.
Yeah, no, but I got you hooked and then bailed.
Yeah.
So I started watching more of that. What was your homework?
Well, did you mention The Last of Us to me?
No, that was not homework.
Oh, well, I've just made up homework.
It's not vacuous perspective homework, but you've made it homework.
Well, I was trying to figure out who mentioned it to me because I've heard of it before.
Pretty much everybody has been mentioning it lately. It's a HBO show. It's a video game adaptation. Most people who enjoy the show will say, I've never played the game, which is always a good sign. If someone says, oh, man, the show's really good. Oh, did you know it was based on a video game? I did know that, but I didn't play it.
That's why I assumed you told me about it because it was based on a video game.
Well, that's a fair assumption. But
Sounds like
this is a PS exclusive, I think Last of Us was. So PlayStation only. I'm a PC gamer, also was, a console gamer, but not of the PS variety. So never got into The Last of Us, the Final Fantasies that were around after that. Some of those PS exclusives I was not into.
Luffingham's an Xbox kind of guy. Luffingham.
He's chirping up about the
he's a bit
the
upset,
console wars.
actually.
You don't want to fuck around with people, but when in regards to the console wars, because people have strong feelings about this kind of stuff, and it's
it's a little bit of it's a bit of an iPhone. Android type situation,
mate. It's a West Coast Eagles, Fremantle Dockers thing. It's a north of the river, east, south of the river. It's anything that we can pick to divide us so that we can have a position to somebody.
It's always worse when there's only two options because it's like it's like a good and an evil. If you're on board with one, you almost automatically have to oppose the other. I always feel like it's nicer if there was four things, like if there was iPhone, Android, something else and something else. There's a bit more of an even.
But the share isn't there. There's no even share.
No. Anyway, Last of Us. Yeah, I only got a couple of episodes downloaded, but I'll give it a go. Just because I've heard so many good things.
Yeah, well, I hear it's great as well. I haven't played the game or watched the show, but I've had every man and his dog tell me that it's the greatest thing they've ever seen, which is always great to go in with such lofty expectations. It's always a good idea.
Is it?
No, it's not.
I wouldn't have thought so. And I do like apocalyptic type shows and movies and things like that. Sure.
And you might be surprised at this, but I don't know anything about the show either. I know nothing about anything. I know one thing. Zombies, I think. But I never did like zombie games, man. You know why? Because they're fucking boring. They're either really slow moving.
What about World at War?
What?
World at War?
No, that's not a thing. Oh, you mean Nazi zombies?
Yeah, Nazi zombies. Yeah.
Yeah, see,
you like Nazi zombies? Come on.
No, I liked that game mode. That was one of the first things we ever really did together after school, really.
Yeah.
After high school, got involved in so I got you involved in the gaming. But
it all started with Nazi zombies.
That's funny, isn't it? You called me up. You said, hey, man, I hear you're the man to talk to if someone's looking to get an Xbox. I said, mate, you're talking to the right guy. Pretty sure I went with you to JB Hi-Fi that day. We bought it all, took it home to your place, installed it all. And I said, cool, I'm heading home. We'll link up. I'll get on my Xbox, And, since then, housemates, great friends, and now podcasting partners, which is great.
It's really done a lot of heavy lifting, that game, for me, hasn't it? It's opened up a few new frontiers.
Yes, it had.
I had no idea when I was getting into that game that was going to lead to all this.
Mm-hmm.
You never do. You never do know when it's going to lead to something, do you?
Sometimes I do know because I know that most of my first impressions are wrong. So if I apply the Costanza effect, I can make a pretty good judgment as long as I don't trust my instincts. So, but what I mean by that is some of the best people, some of my greatest friends, when I met them, I went, don't know about this guy.
Yeah, didn't think
Or
much
don't know
about
about this lady.
Okay, yeah.
And then I love being wrong about that stuff. That's my favorite thing.
Also, they're the ones you need to pay a bit more attention to. The people you don't like off the bat, you need to hunt them down and be like, "You're for me. you're my kind of person."
Yeah. It's just something that I've noticed. So it's trained me to not trust. To not believe that first impressions are everything and all that sort of stuff.
It's trained you to not trust yourself.
It's good, isn't it?
Your instincts are terrible.
It's good, isn't it? But
it's
zombie
fine.
games.
Yeah.
Well, my problem with them is that I played Halo on the Xbox. It was one of the first games that ever came out on the Xbox.
Yeah.
It had this massive controller that you could barely hold in your hands because we were, early teens. And this game was great. You're popping aliens.
Was this Halo, the original Halo 1?
Yeah. First one on Xbox.
Yeah.
Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
Multiplayer. Like GoldenEye style multiplayer, split screen. And I was shooting through all these missions, and then about like halfway through the campaign, you come across this new alien type. They're called the Flood. They basically look like little or big sort of insects that jump on your face, suck your face off, and then you sort of use your body to get around now. So
why are they called the Flood?
I don't know. But
And
if they take over a host,
they jump on your face. Yeah.
Yeah, they like do a thing where they'll take over your body essentially. So instead of just regular enemies running around, you've got these little insect things, plus you've got these reanimated corpses who are like zombies. They're zombies. They're the zombies of Halo, right?
Okay.
And I just found that you shoot them in the face a whole bunch of times and they don't die. And that is immersion breaking for me as a gamer.
Oh,
I don't
doesn't line
a
up
whole
with,
mag into something. I hate that. So
and still to be going, yeah, okay.
So zombie games sort of had that effect on me because, like, not only can you sometimes like shoot a zombie down after 500 shots, they get back up, and you're just like, this is a waste of resources. Surely there's a better way to kill these things. Anyway,
it gets a bit boring. I like a little bit of realism. I always liked in GoldenEye. I liked License to Kill. That mode,
which is one shot kills.
Yeah, which sort of frustrates me a little bit. That's probably a little bit too much on the end of, damage is too high in that game. You shoot someone in the hand and that's the end of it. Yeah.
It'd be better if you could shoot them in the arm. It made their arm weaker. Shoot them in the leg. It made them run slower. But then chest and head, just send it. Just end it.
Yeah, end it. Okay, I've got best-selling video games. I want highest-grossing video games.
Oh, I can give you that. It's going to be like Grand Theft Auto 5, then Tetris, then...
How did you know Tetris? There's actually one above both of those, but you've got 2 and 3.
Okay, so there's one above... Okay, sorry, let me think. Grand Theft Auto is number 2 or 3, and Tetris is number 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, Tetris was... I knew that. I knew Grand Theft Auto because it was the most highest grossing entertainment product. Game. Highest grossing game. Do I know it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I play it?
Yeah.
Is it League?
No.
Oof. I don't know then.
Minecraft.
Shit. That's a good one. Should have known that.
I'll give you a break. PUBG Battlegrounds is 5.
How?
Wii Sports is 4.
Yeah, I think that's because Wii Sports was a bit of a revolution, wasn't it, for gaming? There were people who were of all ages picking up the Wii remote and playing tennis, playing golf, playing baseball. It was a bit of an active activity, so kids could sell it to their parents by saying, "Oh, you'll love it. Plus, look, we're moving around and stuff. This is heaps better." Sell it to the parents like that, and the parents would play it. They're lying if they didn't. If they said they didn't.
Yeah. Have you been using your VR? setup?
Yeah, a little bit. I played some F1, played some racing game in the VR, and I play some poker in the VR. I quite like that.
The racing game, are you using your steering wheel?
Steering wheel and VR headset. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
You should try it. When you come over next, I'll hook you up with a bit of a VR race. And I've just got a new rig, so everything runs a lot nicer.
There's some VR game called like Lightsaber or something Saber.
Beat Saber.
Beat Saber. Have you played that?
Okay, so that's like, for the folks at home, it's like Guitar Hero or Rock Band or any of those musical games, except instead of playing instruments, you're using two lightsabers to perform actions at the right time to make the song work. No, I haven't played it.
Is that how it works? Is it?
So like it'll you'll see all the notes approaching you.
Yeah.
And one note might be a downward swipe on the right hand, but a left swipe on the left hand.
Yeah.
And you sort of just, it gets to the point where people look like they're dancing, but they're actually just playing a game.
And it looks super. They're also immersive, these VR games.
And they do a good job of doing the augmented reality. So there'll be a separate camera which will be, behind the person, so you can see them in the virtual space performing these lightsaber reactions. So it's pretty cool. But no, I haven't got into it.
I'm putting that down as a bit of homework for me, actually. Beat Saber.
You want to play some Beat Saber?
Yeah, I do.
Is that something you reckon you'd enjoy? I think once you're in there, it'd be fucking excellent.
Yeah, I think apparently it looks really cool.
Yeah, no, it does.
So give it a go.
Oh man, it'd be good to get your VR back in action.
Oh no, I need to get back in action somehow. So
okay, yep.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep.
Number 8.
Is that on the list?
That was great. And the fact that I've got a copy of that, I'm contributing. I'm one of those 50 million.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a fair amount of peer pressure from yours truly.
Yeah.
But also, if it's in the top 10, right, you want to have played the top 10 games ever, right? You played Tetris. You've had a go of Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
You've played some Grand Theft Auto 5. You've played some Red Dead Redemption. Is Beat Saber in the top 10?
No, definitely
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you nearly scared the shit out of me then. Did you play PUBG?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, God, that game. I played a lot of it, and then it launched 1.0. Never played it again.
Oh, so they actually went to because it was a beta type.
It was a beta for a long time.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of games are still betas.
And then went 1.0 and you were done with it.
Well, by that time, I'd moved on.
Yeah. And I think people liked it a little bit glitchy as well.
There was a period of time, and this is after PUBG. I called it the year of the shitty looking games, basically. It was COVID year because everyone was just at home. They wanted to play games with their friends. They didn't care what it looked like if the gameplay was good. So all these games that just looked like not very good turned out to be the big winners. Probably not a great example, but Valheim didn't look it wasn't a AAA looking game, but one of the best games ever made. It's a Viking survival simulator, like a Viking survival game where you are sort of spawned into the afterlife or like a bridgeway between the worlds, sort of like what do they call it? The bit between heaven and hell.
Purgatory.
Purgatory, yeah. A purgatory that's like got these big mythical beasts that live there. And Odin, the god Odin, wants you to slay all these beasts to achieve like a place in Valhalla. So you're on this world, this flat earth. And you just got to sort of, survive, build stuff, upgrade your gear to the point where you can start killing these bosses. That's the game. And I spent a good 500 hours in it.
I had no idea. Odin is the god of war and of the dead.
Yeah, he's the god of the dead. He appears sometimes in the game randomly. You'll just be walking along catching fish somewhere and he'll just come into existence. And he appears as like a Grim Reaper character, like a death character. And if you go close to him, he just blinks out of existence.
That is very creepy. Yeah, he rules over Valhalla. So is Valhalla in Norway?
It's heaven.
Oh, so Valhalla's heaven. The whole of the
Viking
slain.
Heaven. Yeah.
Okay, all Vikings who died in battle belong to him.
Yeah, so you have to die in battle. If you die of old age, you don't get to go to Valhalla.
Really? Is that how they
Yep.
enticed their population
Hey,
to
now you're
fight?
thinking. Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that a good one?
It's a great one. If you
Isn't that
convince
a good
everyone
one?
of that,
Oh
they're going down
my
fighting.
God. Well, see, the thing is that they don't. You'd think there'd be a lot of Vikings out there on the battlefield going, "Oh no, you got me!" They know. Then they think they're going about howls, but they still would have drilled into the soldiers. Hey, you need to go there and fucking win. Like, don't die out there. I don't want anyone half-assing out there to get to Valhalla earlier, right? You have to want to win, otherwise Valhalla's off the table. You know what I'm saying?
It's conditional. If you die in battle and we don't win,
No. If you die in battle and you lose, it's fine, but you have to be trying. Like Odin or whatever, he knows if you're fucking trying.
He knows. Yeah, of course.
Like, there's no shortcuts. No shortcuts. You know?
Odin.
Similar to the way that the Catholic Church sort of like said, if you commit suicide, you go straight to hell. They wanted to discourage that. Hey, that's not a way to get to heaven. You can't go to heaven early by dying now. Okay? Got to die later.
I don't know anything about Norse mythology.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Was the most. Yeah, I know.
You can learn a lot
Thor.
just by watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You can sort of piece together bits of the
Odin
history. Yeah, Odin's in there. Thor's in there.
Yeah.
Odin's played by Anthony Hopkins.
Okay.
And Thor's played by, what's his name? Chris Hemsworth.
Is Loki in there?
Yeah, he's in there.
Oh, okay. This you do. What about Frey and Frasier?
I think so. Who are they?
Frey is connected with fertility and a good harvest. He makes the crops in the fields grow.
Yeah, probably. And if they're not in the movies, they'll be in the comics, because all the movies are derived from the comics, and the comics have been everywhere and done everything. If you name someone from history, I bet you they're in Marvel Comics.
Really?
There's a challenge for you. Or
what about Hitler?
Anything. Yeah, Hitler will be in there. Come on, man. Is he? Actually, that's a good question. Maybe, yeah. Why did it always go straight to Hitler, though? Yeah, Adolf Hitler, Earth 16, Marvel database. So, yeah. Yep, he's in it.
Okay, so it's anyone, so Alexander the Great?
Yeah, okay. Well, let's try him. Alexander the Great, Marvel Comics. Yeah, Alexander of Macedon, Earth 616.
Yeah,
Earth 616 is the main Earth, by the way. Every time I say Earth 616, that's like the main, that's where you are. You're on Earth 616.
Of course.
Okay. It's an arbitrary number.
Mm.
Yeah, so he was a thing. What did he do? Upon his death, came to the temple of Athena, taking the spear, blah, 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 blah. It is unknown if he became a god upon his death, as stated by the oracle. So, look, there's an oracle. Who knows?
So this Frey and Frasier,
yes.
One of Frey's attributes is his magic boar, Gullenborsti. He's got a magical boar. How good's that? The boar shines like gold, and Frey rides it faster than any horse over land and through water. Perhaps it was pigs that Viking farmers sacrificed to Frey.
Well, I can tell you that Frey and Freya are in Marvel as well. So that's 4 out of 4, man. You know.
5 out of 5. Odin, Loki, Thor, Frey, and Frasier.
No, because it was Adolf Hitler, Alexander the Great, Frey and Freya. Right. That's who I was counting anyway.
Oh, wait, and they've been in the Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, because they're in them. Yeah, of course,
yeah. Yeah. Here's a good one. I'm going to put a prediction in. Jesus. Is he in the Marvel Cinematic? Not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but Marvel Comics. Yeah, Jesus of Nazareth, Earth 616. So there's a Marvel comic called The Easter Story. Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. All his life, Jesus knew he would have to sacrifice himself for mankind, harking back to something that I said earlier, which is how Jesus and God are the same man. So they did know about their eventual death. Anyway, doesn't matter. When he traveled to Jerusalem riding on a donkey, crowds of people came out of the city to greet him, waving and throwing down palm branches on the road.
Was riding a donkey like the equivalent of riding a Tesla?
Yeah,
back
it would
then.
have
Is
been
that
there.
style? Is he coming into
Ballin'.
the city and people are like, fuck
Ballin'.
yeah?
It's like a Escalade. At Passover, which would be later known as the Last Supper, Jesus told his followers that one of them would betray him and his fellow disciples.
Knowing full well who it is.
Yeah, put a fucking, what do you call it, an annotation on that, just to quickly say, knew that one of them would betray him and needed him to do it. Can we put that in there? And his fellow disciples. On Friday, Roman soldiers arrested and tried Jesus and nailed him to a wooden cross. So this is all in the Marvel comic. When Jesus died, because I'm trying to get their story of what happened to Jesus here, so this will be interesting. When Jesus died, his disciples placed his body in a cave and covered the cave entrance with a rock. All pretty standard so far. On Sunday, one of Jesus' disciples, Mary Magdalene, went to the cave. The rock had been rolled away and the cave was empty. As an angel appeared and said, "Do not be afraid, Jesus has risen from the dead." He then visits his disciples himself to tell them to spread the word of God throughout the world before ascending to heaven, which started Christianity. So that's just the Jesus story. Okay, I'm going to read one more. Okay, post-death. After Jesus' death and his first followers grew in numbers, objects related to him became highly sought after, such as the Spear of Destiny. Ooh. Okay, hang on a minute. Yep, the weapon supposedly used by the Roman soldier named Longius used to kill Jesus, and the Holy Grail, which is supposedly a cup in which Jesus turned water into wine at the Last Supper. So after Jesus' death, people started looking for the Spear of Destiny.
The Spear of Destiny.
Which was a thing.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
And they were looking for the Holy Grail because it had the power to turn water into wine, which is just a moneymaker. You know, that's a moneymaker if you ask me.
Isn't it?
So just turning water into wine all day if you get that cup. So Doctor Doom, who's a character, was revealed to have the splinters of the true cross in his armor just in case he'd run into Dracula one day. What the fuck is that point?
Is that because it's a holy relic? It's supposed to... Luffingham! Sorry.
Not just that, but it's wood. So if he's got the splinters of the true cross in his armor, maybe he thinks one day Dracula will just charge him front on and get staked in the heart.
Maybe. There's some kind of theory behind it. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to bring my dog inside.
Yeah, go grab him. I'm going to keep reading about this briefly.
Me and Luffingham are actually home alone tonight, so he's running amok.
Oh, that's all right. He's got full
reign.
I
don't know what he was thinking then. I thought you said the shards of the Spear of Destiny were in his armor.
No, shards of the splinters of the true cross.
Splinters of the true cross.
Oh. So that's going to be like the cross that he was nailed on.
Yeah, okay.
Which I think would have some sort of magical powers in this universe. Here's a fun one.
Yeah.
During a time, Mephisto, who's like, he's a bit known as like the Satan figure of Marvel.
Mephisto.
He's an extra-dimensional demon who rules a fiery pocket dimension that he calls Hell or Hades, right? Although it is neither the hell of the Christian religion nor the Hades ruled by Pluto, the Olympian god of the dead, right?
He's got his own space, carved out his own little hell.
Yeah, because I actually did watch Ghost Rider recently with Nicolas Cage, and you think he's talking to Satan. Like Satan's whispering in his ear to do stuff and all that sort of stuff. So it's a bit of a Jesus-y, bit of an interesting one.
Mephisto. Okay. Watch out for him.
Yeah. No, but that's Marvel and real people in Marvel.
That's impressive. They've covered the board in some respects. Mm-hmm. It all seems to check out. There's been a couple of big things in the solar system or in the universe even.
There's always some big things in the universe, isn't there?
Seems to be.
What do we got?
Seems to be. Okay, we have. So this is on. This is last year, but it's only been confirmed recently. A pulse of intense radiation swept through the solar system. This was on Sunday, the 9th of October, 2022. I'm not sure what you were doing that day.
Probably, clearly, being ignorant about whatever the fuck this is.
Well, it is this intense radiation that swept through the solar system has been dubbed the boat, the brightest of all time. It's a gamma ray burst from somewhere in the bloody universe, and they reckon it was the brightest burst of energy ever to hit the Earth, occurring once in every 10,000 years. So it could have been the most intense gamma ray burst to ever hit the Earth.
And what will we be feeling on the Earth with this gamma ray burst?
Seems like nothing. Nothing.
Bugger all. Yeah.
Nothing.
The cars still worked. The internet was fine that day.
Everything was fine.
Everything was fine?
It's not a solar flare, so not to be confused with a solar flare. This came from, we don't know what. They think it could have been a couple of black holes colliding together somewhere.
Wow.
And it's like its discharge or whatever is this gamma ray burst. Yeah. So they reckon, the source was a gamma ray burst.
Can't see gamma rays though, right?
Well, it blinded all the detectors because it was 70 times stronger than anything ever detected by way of gamma ray bursts.
If it maxes it out, how can they even detect how powerful it was?
Oh, it's actually a good question. There was this tiny CubeSat somewhere that hasn't really been doing much in its lifetime. I'm just trying to get its name because I want to. For some reason, it does fuck all. It's been in and out of use. This thing was perfectly placed, facing the right direction, and kind of weirdly calibrated that it came into its own during this burst.
Right, it did. It's, you know what it is? It's like when they launched up the Hubble. They weren't aware of the potential discoveries they could make. They could tell you what they could do right now with it, but in 5 years' time, maybe we'll develop something else that we can then interpret that data differently and see different things. So it's like that.
Yeah, it's almost you don't know what this thing was going to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to do that. Oh, cool. Worth. Or is it just a bonus?
They've named this gamma ray burst GRB 221009A, and that's just the date.
And then because it rolls off the tongue so nicely.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was likely the brightest burst of X-ray and gamma ray energies to occur since human civilization began. Again,
if we didn't spot it, if we didn't have the technology to spot it, and the fact that we're learning about it a year, almost 6 months after it happened, it's obviously not that big a deal, is it?
But they say that it's a guess because we didn't measure. We haven't been measuring. But based on everything they've measured to date, the fact, and I was saying it's 70 times brighter than any gamma ray burst they've ever seen. And so based on their metrics and their measurements they've made to date, they think it's a once in every 10,000 year event.
Can I jump in here for a sec?
Please.
If it's a 1 in a 10,000 year event, the fact that we got it in the first, I want to say 80 years of launching shit into space.
Yep.
Is bullshit. Makes no sense at all.
I know. We don't really have much data. We don't have much data, do we? Makes no sense at all
that you could say, oh, we got this 1 in a 10,000 year thing in year 60. I don't know if we can.
It does seem unusual, doesn't it?
I just think we haven't looked that long. Like they go, oh, sorry. Turns out it's a once every 85 year event.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some data on that.
They've got.
I know what
reasons.
you're saying.
They're scientists.
Exactly. I know.
They are scientists.
But I want to see their reasons. Yeah. Apparently, this gamma ray burst has been traveling for 1.9 billion years.
Oh my god!
Making it one of the closest known long GRBs.
Closest
long.
Yeah. Closest long. I hate some of this scientific terminology. I was looking at that TikTok that you sent me for the medium density morphical ice thing. And this
amorphous ice, yeah.
Medium density amorphous ice, because they had high density amorphous ice, they had low density amorphous ice. Now we've got medium. Ew. But it's just recently discovered. Scientist, man. All right. Just simplify things a bit better, guys. Better names. What was the name of the thing?
The GLB 221009A.
The GOB 2029A, yeah. What about the Bob? You know, keep it simple.
Bob's Rays. Well, they're calling it the boat. It's the boat. So it's got a nickname. The boat.
No, that's an abbreviation, right?
Brightest of all time.
No, it's not an abbreviation. It's what do you call it?
An acronym.
An acronym.
This guy says it's just an absolutely monstrous burst. It is extremely extraordinary. We've never seen anything remotely close to it.
Yeah.
That's
and it did. Sorry to say this. Fuck all. And you'll never see it again. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And it's just passed by without us even knowing. It's like it.
Yeah.
Did it even matter?
10,000 years in the future, when the next one happens, probably won't be here.
Oh, we're definitely not. We're definitely not, unfortunately. And then that just sort of lends itself nicely to the largest black hole ever discovered. Happened a couple of days ago.
Wow.
A giant black hole has the mass of 30 billion suns.
Of our suns, yep.
Of our suns, yes. And it sits at the center of a galaxy located a couple 100 million light years from Earth.
Look, I know this is black hole stuff. But how do they calculate the weight of a black hole in that? I thought everything inside it is effectively zero.
You use, I think it's called gravitational lensing.
Okay, so they're judging it based off its pull.
Inference. It's inference. It's bend of the light around it. They can
figure out what's going on in there. Okay, Jesus Christ. You know what I think's in there?
No.
Fucking bookshelf.
Fucking bookshelf. It always is.
Big old fucking bookshelf.
That's what Hollywood would have us believe.
No, it's just love. It's love in there. Love is...
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, wow. That's literally love.
Love is a bookshelf.
In the form of a bookshelf. No, I got no idea.
It's called a ultramassive black hole, opposed to the usual supermassive black hole.
Well, they've got a new classification for it.
I think there's other ultramassive black holes. I don't know if they...
But this is the biggest one.
This is the biggest ultramassive.
Well, it's the biggest then. So the ultramassive is at the very end of the spectrum.
It's the very ultramassive black hole. That's what they should call it.
Yeah, just to add some more in there.
They actually say it's on the upper limit of how large they believe black holes can theoretically become. So they have an upper limit on that in theory.
You know what's funny is that they might have had this upper limit before and then they go, oh, there it is, found it, the biggest one that can ever be. There it is, it matches with the numbers. What do you think they went? That's got to be the numbers now. Got it right. They're the numbers. That's what the biggest is. That's the biggest.
It says here they arrived at the size of the black hole by analysing the magnification of the foreground object in a series of images taken by Hubble. Using sophisticated computer modelling, the scientists were able to simulate how much light bends around the foreground galaxy where the black hole resides. They tested thousands of black hole sizes before arriving at a solution that matched the observations. So they guessed it 1,000 times. If you guess something enough.
Yeah, if you get enough chickens, you can just about predict anything. You know what I'm saying? If you get enough predicting chickens, you get that pedigree chicken, that predicting chicken.
You get the magic chicken.
Quick, ask it anything.
We were talking, we wanted to to investigate how that banana nasal spray was going.
Yeah,
right?
We wanted a bit of a follow-up on that, yeah.
Yeah, so there was a banana-derived antiviral protein
Yep.
that was apparently effective at preventing COVID somehow.
Well, all known coronaviruses was the way that you put it before.
And flu.
And flu.
And cancer. And potentially
and
the
and
C1.
having a big swing at cancer while we're at it.
Yeah. So it had a lot of potential.
Yep.
A lectin derived from banana. I saw another article, but it wasn't about the banana lectin.
Oh, we doing other lectins. They've already moved on to other lectins.
No, well, it's a molecule known as TRISB92.
Just a great name for a molecule. Again.
TRISB92.
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's a great name.
And I think it may have beaten the nasal spray, the banana-derived nasal spray lectin to the punch.
Oh.
Because they're describing this as a game-changer nasal spray.
Okay, we got more nasal sprays that are game changers. Why?
A universal shield against all COVID-19 variants.
Yeah.
They reckon it's out of the University of Helsinki. These researchers have developed a molecule that is, when administered nasally, extremely effective in presenting the disease caused by all known variants of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19.
But are we swinging at cancer?
Not swinging at cancer. No. Yeah, so I think we do need to sink some more money into the bananas.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, but this just is proof of concept that the nasal spray could be the answer. And then we take this, we start with a nasal spray. We get everyone familiar with nasal sprays. We'll give them a couple of rounds of boosted nasal sprays. Once they're really familiar with nasal sprays, then we drop the banana-derived lectin nasal spray on them.
For what? The same purpose?
No. Now to broaden their immunity. Cancer, flu. The viruses will be done.
We're just laying down the gauntlet for future viruses. Hey, if you want to get through, you got to get through our banana lectin fucking nasal spray. Bitch.
I heard something pretty cool that I don't know much about, but we can discuss it. It sort of stems from a couple of little comments that Graham Hancock said before.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And you know how he did that series on Netflix?
Yeah, Ancient Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, yeah.
Yep.
He says that if it goes well, he wants to do another series that's sort of based largely around what I understand the Amazon.
Sure.
And also some ayahuasca and sort of deal in some of the drugs, those drugs that have been used for millennia.
The shamans, yep.
Yeah, and also just to discuss the possibility that there may be a far more ancient civilization that was based somewhere in the Amazon at some point in prehistory. And he's made which, it's, I don't, as I said, don't know much about this, but there's a couple of things that words he's used in certain contexts that I'm starting to get a feeling for what he thinks about it. One of them being, he thinks that one proof for an advanced ancient civilization in that area is this type of soil called terra preta. Have you heard of terra preta?
No. Great name though.
I think that's what it is. Let me just check. Terra.
It doesn't matter.
Preta. Yeah, so it's a type of very dark, fertile soil found in the Amazon basin. It's only found in certain pockets. Apparently the Amazon is incredibly infertile. What?
It looks very fertile.
It looks very fertile because there's vegetation everywhere. Apparently what happens is they clear I don't know. When they clear the land to make soybean farms and things, when they clear the Amazon to do that, you only get 1 or 2 generations of plants growing there before you have to have so many inputs into the soil because it's so leached of its minerals that it's just not a great place to grow things. I agree that the look of some of the plants, you'd think that it would be very fertile. But anyway,
maybe they're too good.
Maybe they're too good. Maybe they've sucked all the nutrients out.
Exactly.
And his argument, from what I can tell, is that because people froth over this stuff, absolutely froth over it. When people find it, they're digging it up and taking it away to use on their own crops and things. And it's a bit of a science to produce this stuff. You have to burn charcoal a certain amount and mix it through the soil, and it creates a really like an ecosystem of bacteria and whatnot that replenish the fertility in the soil. So it's a bit of
it's fertilization.
It's like self-fertilizing soil in a way,
Sure.
where I think it stays fertile a lot longer. And you can look up terra preta. It's on Wikipedia saying, and it'll crap on about how like good it is. But his view is that there's these pockets where it looks like people have made this and used it. And he's saying that's science. You don't just, this kind of, we can't even really figure it out now. This incredibly fertile soil used in a place where you sort of need soil fertility.
Yes.
And that's sort of just one, like, he thinks that science is not just, this is technology that they're using. That's sort of his argument. But then he also made this comment on the side that it seems like he thinks bananas are this very, I think that they may have like done something to bananas or I don't know, some plants to make them hyper aggressive. He thinks there's evidence of plants that have been somehow,
helped along by humans.
Whether it's like, I don't know, they're probably not slicing in genes and
kind
stuff.
of like how we've helped chickens and whatnot, because chickens don't look anything like what they used to. They're whatever we want them to look like now.
Yeah.
Or how
maybe they've been bred a certain way or something.
Exactly.
He thinks that these hyper aggressive plants that exist in the Amazon, and that sort of goes to what you were saying about how it looks like it's doing really well. I'm sure.
Well, maybe it's supporting the max. That's what I sort of think now, upon reflection, is that it's supporting the max. You want to see what this soil can do? Well, here it is. Here's the Amazon rainforest. Yeah, it's pretty good, but the soil's fucked. This is what it can do.
Yeah, at its peak.
Sure.
But yeah, as you know as well, he has. It is interesting that there seems to be a lot of structures. He says if there was a billionaire that wanted to do something great for humanity, they need to just commission some. Is it LiDAR? Is that what it's called? LiDAR's the laser.
Yeah.
Laser
They've
imaging.
done that. They've done a bit of that in the Amazon. And they find shit all the time.
I know.
Yeah.
Apparently, they've done less than 2% of it.
Oh, right. Less
by
than
LiDAR.
2%.
So he's saying we need to do huge amounts of we need to do the whole Amazon. And he goes, you'll be amazed how much. That's when we'll realize, he thinks, how much was going on back then and how big a civilization we might be dealing with.
Sure.
Because very little's been done in the Amazon because it's such an inhospitable place to actually get, it's a fucking jungle or something, isn't it? I mean.
Yeah, dude. Yes, big jungle.
What's the one you like? Chickenizza. Is that how you pronounce it?
Chicken pizza.
Chicken pizza.
Yeah, that's the one that tweets. That's the one that makes the bird sounds back at you.
Yeah.
So you clap at it and it tweets back a bird sound to you, which was obviously intended by the constructors.
Have you seen the photo of it? Apparently it was discovered. I saw something pop up on my Facebook. It was discovered in 1892 or rediscovered.
Chicken pizza, yeah.
Chicken pizza. It wasn't not discovered as such, but there's a photo of it from 1892 when it's covered by vegetation, almost entirely. It's like 90% covered.
Yeah.
And you see photos of it now.
And it's been cleared, and it's a tourist attraction.
It's a tourist attraction.
It's the same as the pyramids and stuff.
And it's so beautiful. But it makes me realise how close it was to being completely covered up.
Well, and how it got forgotten. Like it was obviously a place people lived there. Yep.
It was close. It was a couple hundred years from being forgotten about completely.
Yep.
And then if you come along and it's just a big hill and you do some scans and you're like, we can see some chambers and things in here. And then let's say the government doesn't give approval because they just don't want anyone fosking around in there, then it just relies untested and
it's absolutely
unknown.
covered in vegetation, isn't it?
Yeah.
like covered.
It does make you wonder what other ruins may lay buried.
Not only that, but we know that stones and even the constructions that we create today are not forever. And that, like, even if you just add 10,000 years onto the clocks at any point, you're probably not going to get much out of that. Meaning, we've had to push back the date of civilization back 6,000 odd years recently with the, Göbekley's discovery. So instead of saying 8,000 BC is your Urs and later the Egyptians, the Babylonians, all this sort of stuff, you got to go, okay, so at the minimum, it's 14,000 years ago. Is that right? Or is it 14,000 BC? 10,000 BC. 14,000. Yeah. 10,000. Yeah.
And what are you referring to? What was 12? So
I just mean that you're going to not find anything
no.
from before that. From before that, if you say, 2,000 years before Göbekli, we found another temple site, but it's just nothing. Like, we get it with LiDAR and we go, yeah, there was something here, but we don't know. We can't date it, right?
Yeah, there'll be very little, but I mean, there can be things that are covered up and like Göbekli Tepe, and you uncover it, dig it out, excavate it.
What they need is just a LiDAR in space, just doing LiDAR work.
Just scanning the lot.
Yeah,
just scan the lot, yeah.
Do the lot while we're at it. Come on. Because, they should be doing that in Egypt too, because they think that most of the stuff in Egypt is still ready to be found. Like, they haven't found all the tombs and stuff. So
definitely not. There. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan, they don't know where his burial place is.
Really? Someone so famous.
Yeah, but he deliberately kept it secret to the point that everyone at his funeral, apparently 2,000 people attended.
Yeah.
And he ordered everyone get slain that attended his funeral to keep his resting place unknown. And he ordered all the people that slayed the people to also be slain.
By who?
By another band of bloody bandits.
Who were exonerated.
They were too far
also
removed.
Murdered.
They were too far removed. And there's stories of on the way to that, so they don't know where it is, and there's one region near his hometown that is regarded as a likely resting place, but the government has made it a what do you call it, like a national park, and doesn't allow any excavation or anything because they want it to remain. They're also in on this. They're like, look, even if it is there, we don't know, but I think they like the idea of it remaining a secret.
That's interesting.
It's crazy because he's one of the most significant and influential leaders the world's ever seen, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, if you're playing Risk, he had most of Eurasia.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on a tear.
He was on an absolute tear.
Mm-hmm. Had a lot of kids.
Or he raped a lot.
Yeah.
They say, let me get these stats on here because I've heard this before. Okay, something like 8% of the men living in the region of the former Mongol Empire, which is all of Asia and Europe. I don't know what they're regarding as the former Mongol Empire, but his empire at its peak was that.
Yep.
Carry Y chromosomes that are nearly identical. That translates to 0.5% of the male population of the world, or roughly 16 million descendants living today. What the fuck?
Wow.
That is one fertile little boy.
Yep. I need to find out about this funeral.
Yeah, secret burial club.
Yeah, secret burial club.
The first rule of secret burial club.
Yeah, all that come to the burial must be murdered.
Yeah.
Whoa. Second rule of burial club is the people who kill the people who come to the burial are also killed.
Apparently, the rumors are full of contradictions and legend. There was I remember hearing one rumor that on their procession to the resting place, so he died somewhere and they traveled through back to Mongolia or somewhere around Mongolia for his burial, that they killed every animal and person on the way.
Oh my God.
But that's a trail of destruction. You would know exactly where he's buried. You'd be like, there's just bodies all the way. Just follow the blood splatter.
What are they doing? What are they doing?
That's the kind of that's
the path
the dedication.
Of conquest. The path of conquest is more or less the Silk Road, right?
Is the path of conquest with how he travelled across like Asia, or what do you mean? What's the Silk Road?
The Silk Road went from, China to Europe, right?
Yes.
And it was one of the most safest roads in the world because it was protected by all these different sort of kings and whatever. They said, don't fuck with this road. And it was known for being really safe to travel on because it was protected by all these really powerful people.
Is that right? Okay, that makes sense. All right, that's cool.
So his path, if you look at Genghis Khan's run across Asia and into Europe, it's more or less along that line, but a very, very, very wide take, if you want to call it that. But it's along the same sort of path. It's interesting.
I haven't seen his journey. I'm just trying to get it up.
It's on his wiki. There's like it's like a map.
Yeah, he does seem to take the Silk Road, doesn't he? But was the Silk Road a thing back then? Because we're talking, when was Genghis Khan? Like 1,000 years ago?
Well, this was active from the 2nd century BCE until the mid-15th century.
Okay, all right, wow.
That is, a good 1,300 years.
That's always been a thing. So that's just a trade route. That was just the first land trade route of note.
Yep, spanning over 6,500 kilometres, which I've done 6,500 kilometres. It's not that bad.
In your life, yeah.
I've done it in 2 weeks. When I did my around WA trip, I did 6,500 Ks. So that's the Silk Road. I could have gone the whole Silk Road. Oh well, that's all right. Next time.
Why is it no longer a thing?
Well, I guess
countries.
It's just not, I guess it's not being. Well, what maybe it ended with Genghis rolling through. What year was he? Because they said they used it until the 15th century.
No, he was a bit before. He was 13th. Died in the 13th century.
Oh well, it was around that time. There you go.
He became the largest contiguous land empire in history. Yeah, he was pretty successful. He was good. I can't remember how he got onto him. Is Genghis Khan in the Marvel universe?
I was just thinking that. I'd say it's almost 100%.
Did they just do everyone? Who's knowing that? Do you reckon we could get in there one day?
Well, it's because it's Earth 616. Okay, Temujin, Earth 616. Temujin.
Oh, that's his actual name.
Was born in a small Mongol tribe. So there you go.
That's his. Genghis Khan is it's an honorary title.
It's a title, yeah. So he obtained the title of the Great Khan, later changing his name to Genghis Khan. There you go. So he's in Marvel.
See, that's something he didn't know. That's just a little perk.
There we go. Following Genghis Khan's death, a secret society steeped in advanced science and sorcery emerged that regarded itself as perpetuation of Khan's Mongolian empire. In each era, this society selected the most worthy descendant of Genghis Khan to serve as their new leader. Their most sacred talisman is the spirit banner of Genghis Khan, and only a true Khan can pluck the spirit banner from its flaming resting place, confirming his or her worthiness as the new leader. As the years passed, the secret society came to be known as the Atlas Foundation, and former SHIELD agent Jimmy Woo currently serves as their leader. There you go.
The Atlas Foundation. If we're going to talk about famous people, do you know who King Atlas is?
King Atlas. King Atlas.
Yeah.
Was he a real bloke?
We don't know. He was
What
the
do you mean we
king
don't know?
of Atlanta.
Oh, the Mauritania.
He was the king, the king of Atlanta, the Atlas Mountains,
Oh, yes.
named after him. One of our friends named his son Atlas, and I was like, bro, that's the sickest name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was like, do you know anything about Atlantis? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
I like
just
playing
shut up
that
now.
game. I like playing that game. You go, cool, where are the Atlas Mountains? And they go, well, no, they don't go, but, it's in Mauritania, right? West Africa.
Hmm.
Where's the Atlantic Ocean? Just to the left of that.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me, man. It makes perfect sense to me.
And then you've got that Eye of Africa just sitting there.
Which wasn't
perfectly
discovered
placed.
until we had the ability to go into orbit. So we only figured that out once we got into orbit, that was there.
It's interesting that who's Graham Hancock's mate?
Which one? He's got a couple of mates.
The beardy fellow with the bigger beardy fellow. I like him.
Yeah. What's his name? Come on, man. What's his name?
No, I need his name.
No. What's his name?
I don't know what his name is.
He's the guy that does the whole.
All I'm thinking is Carl.
Carl?
I know. I don't know why.
Randall Carlson.
Oh, there he is.
There you go.
Okay, so
do you know how I found that? I typed in Graham Hancock's friends.
He's great. He's so good. But he doesn't think the Eye of Africa. He does lots on Atlantis.
He hates it.
I don't know if he hates it.
Why does he hate it?
He does this whole. I think
Stop
he does
being
this.
a hater.
He doesn't
being a
hate
hater.
it. He doesn't hate it. I don't
he
think he
hates it. I've heard him hate it.
No, he's gone through some of the reasons for and against it, and he thinks balance of probabilities. He thinks it's at some other location that he doesn't know where. He doesn't know where it is.
Fine.
But there's some really cool. There's synergies are crazy. The Bright Insight guy, the YouTuber Bright Insight.
Amazing.
Watch his stuff on Atlantis. It's so good. It's so
great.
good.
And if you're one of the weirdos like me who think that Egypt was influenced by a more ancient, more advanced civilization, then there were refugees from West Africa. Makes way more sense to me than someone cruising around, aliens or whatever you want to. If you want to go
the Egyptians
deep down the
even
hole.
say there was a previous civilization. Do they not?
Who came in and gave them a hand or something? Look. Obviously, it would have happened because cultures humans moved around. That's what we did. And it's funny that Mauritania is now like more or less just nomadic tribes with a couple of cities. It's almost the same way now as it was back then. If you had a country or a large area that was devastated by some massive problem, the people would leave. They bounce. Go somewhere else. Anyway, that's what I think happened.
Can you imagine being displaced? How that would be horrifying. I haven't even thought about, even in the Ukraine where certain people have to, you have to either if you don't want to put up with the war, which I certainly wouldn't want to.
No,
you have to just get up and go. Fuck.
Mm-hmm. And you don't know how long it's going to be. It could be 6 months. It could be a year. It could be 2 years. It could be 5 years. It's fucked up.
If I was going to be. If you're going to be a hunter-gatherer, which culture or area of the world and what era would you want to live?
Well, I can tell you right now that my answer would not be Alaska after watching some of that Outlast show because those people were only out there for 20 days or something and it looks fucked up. 20 days, and they're, oh man, I'm dying. There was the one girl who hadn't had a shit in 20-something days and they were really worried about her. And then they finally got a feed. They caught some fish. She ate a buttload and then she had problems in the morning and they had to medically evacuate her.
And she didn't come back. Have you finished it yet?
Come back. That's about where I'm up to. So I'm ready for the final showdown of the final two teams who are going at it. And I know exactly what you're talking about with the horrible people. The ladies, they really, really went after some people. They had this mission to just cheat and steal items off people's camps, like straight up take someone's sleeping bags before the coldest night's coming. Oh my God.
And have they sabotaged the neighboring camp and
old mate left and burnt down his camp.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, you've seen that.
He's like, I'm going to burn it down. I'm going to burn it all. I found it really repetitive, the show, especially when the old bloke was talking about leaving.
Oh, my God.
There was about
like,
5 conversations
go.
in a row where he was like, I didn't think humans were like this. I thought they were better than this. I'm leaving, like, as a protest. And then they cut back to him like 9 times, and he pretty much said the same thing again, verbatim.
Yeah, I think they were struggling for content a little bit. I don't think the show was that good. There's
little magic that they try to do. Did you see the bit where she shoots a squirrel with a bow and arrow?
Yeah, but I was even wondering, I'm like, are they just, is this real?
Well, no, what they did is they reused the same shot from before when she missed it. They reused that.
Yeah.
And then what's funny is that after that, the cameraman obviously missed it because they had to use the previous shot again.
Yeah.
Because she goes, there's your shot. Like, I got it kind of thing. And he's like, oh, shit, I didn't actually get it. She said, there's the shot. And he's like, fuck, I was having a Mars bar or whatever. But like, yeah, look, it's pretty ruthless. It's been a pretty ruthless game. So
yeah, so not Alaska.
Not Alaska. No, I'm not into the bears. I'm not. I think Australia would be a pretty good one.
I'm so biased, right? I reckon Australia would be great. I'd definitely be an Aboriginal, and I don't know. Am I allowed to be an Aboriginal? Like, I can be an Aboriginal, right?
Well, it just means Indigenous culture, right? So you
I would be of the Indigenous persuasion.
Well, you can't.
But if I like got transported back there, I am, right?
Yes.
Would they?
Why are we going back in time though? You could just do it now.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same. I don't want to like come across cars and
no, you won't. No, you won't. You won't.
Horseshoes and stuff. I want it to be as
more realistic,
authentic as it gets.
Sure.
Because I reckon things would have just been bounding up to. I reckon there would have been plentiful food. I just feel like it would have been a great time.
Well, the fishing's pretty good. Not many things that are going to kill you here.
Oh, well, who knows? Yeah, look, not as there's things that will kill you everywhere, right? And I don't even think the animals and the things that are going to kill you aren't what you need to be worried about when you're going to die. You need to be worried about shelter.
Yeah.
The animals, if they kill you, you've had a great time.
Have you?
Well, it's either you or them. You had an opportunity to kill them first and eat them. So it's kind of fair game, right?
Yeah.
It's dog eat dog.
Yeah.
In Australia, they found a fossilized human footprint of someone running at 37 kilometers an hour. That's what they reckon.
Okay, so they're judging that off the impression. And
who knows what they did?
Right, they're scientists. They pop the coats on.
Scientists. How do they figure this stuff out?
No, they just pop the coat on.
Can
they
be trusted?
Shit. Yeah, they just make it up.
How many people have verified this footprint? Because 37 kilometers an hour is like Usain Bolt speed.
It's an interesting specialization, isn't it? So they get the fossil guy in. He goes, "That's a footprint." They go, "We know that."
Who specializes in the speed of the footprint?
We need to get the other expert in. They cost a bit extra. They're coming down tomorrow. They can tell you the speed of the running. They can give you a running speed.
And this guy was running barefoot.
Yeah, man. Of course he was.
In sand.
Of course he was.
Or maybe not sand. I don't know what he was running on to leave a footprint.
We're so weak, man. We wouldn't last a day.
I'm hungry right now and I've had 2 meals and some snacks.
It's not fair. If you're listening to this back in time, we're sorry.
For what?
Because they're like, oh man, if they've somehow developed the technology to listen to this in the past, then we're sorry for saying, oh man, it's so easy to get food right now. How easy is it? Just go to the fridge. Oh man, so much food in there.
Oh, I've got like a week's worth of food, just pre-bought, ready to go. I was thinking, spent about $200 at the shops the other day, getting, got some chicken breasts, some pork mince, some capsicum, all that stuff, right? All those goodies, some nut bars, things like that. How long would it take me to collect all those items together? Not even in the wild, if I had a farm with produce and
Yep.
had
A
plants and
capsicum
animals.
tree. Yep.
Can you imagine? Okay, so I'd have to firstly to get 4 chicken breasts. Firstly, 2 chickens getting murdered. Then I'm plucking them, gutting them, filleting them, whatever you do to the chicken, right? You're doing all that, and then eventually you what do? You put them in the plastic and you wrap them up like a little plastic ham.
You're not going to put them in the plastic.
You probably don't need to do that anymore. But
No,
if
you're just going to eat
trying
it,
to keep
right?
it, maybe you're trying to keep it. I want it for is it fresher in that? I don't know. It seems weirder. No, get rid of that. Okay, let's get rid of the plastic. Let's go plasticless.
Just goes in the fridge.
Now I need some. I think I got lamb mince actually, rather than pork mince. Now I need some lamb.
So you're going to have to kill a baby.
I'm going to kill some, little baby sheep. Then I'm mincing it. What am I doing with that? Like, what else? What are you putting in it with the mince? The mince isn't all lamb. Don't they like fill it out with stuff? I don't know.
I don't know. Bloody hell.
No one knows what's in mince.
No.
Then that goes in a
secrets.
plastic little packet as well. Jam that in your fridge.
And then you got your farm of capsicum and whatever else.
Yeah, all those things. It would take me 6 months.
Right, to get that chicken breast done.
To get all those things together for my weekly meal. So maybe if I
It's
start
going to be pretty
planning
costly
now,
too. It's going to be pretty costly too.
If I wanted to make
millball.
Yeah. If I wanted to make Christmas dinner, I need to probably start planting things now.
You needed to, get the $3 million property six weeks ago. And
sow it.
Get things in the ground, man. Get those sheep going.
Probably need to start fertilizing it. Yeah, it's probably, and then there's a lot to do.
Yeah, it's
I'm feeling
way
a bit
easier.
overwhelmed.
No, I don't think it's a good idea.
I'll just stick with the shops, I guess.
They've got us by the balls.
But this is why the idea of being a hunter-gatherer is so sexy. Because you don't really you don't plan like that. You just eat whatever jumps up, hops onto your plate.
Yeah.
You're just cruising.
You don't have
and you're
choice.
like, I'm a bit hungry. I'm just going to take a bite out of that here, take a bite out of that there.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to take life with all its trappings and problems, with all the bills.
Do you think we've got it better?
Yeah, I'm way too comfortable up in here. No,
No, that's the problem. We're too comfortable.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And I was thinking about it today actually because I was thinking like, how work's a bit of a scam.
Oh, what that whole? In what way?
Well, one of the biggest,
it's very scammy.
One of the greatest lies that we've talked our brains into over the many thousands of years that we have had a thing called work, right, is that the best feeling comes from like a hard day's work. It's the best. It's a good feeling. And yes, there's something to be said about accomplishing something, feeling good. Yes, I agree with that. You agree with that?
Yes. I don't agree with the fact that's the thing we've convinced ourselves of. I think
no.
Yeah.
So like what they do, right?
Yeah.
You got to picture it. You've got the pyramid being built.
Okay. I'm
They're
picturing
lugging the stones, right? They're putting one down an hour. They've got 2 million to go. The guy who's making the cash but not doing any of the work, he's watching. And after the day's over, they're all sweating. He goes, how good did that feel? How good was that? And they're sort of confused. They're like, no, I just feel back-breaking labor. That's all I'm feeling, right? He goes, no, that felt good. That was good. You liked that. See you tomorrow. Same thing for the next couple of thousand years.
You're taking back-breaking labor as a regular day at work, or I think you're taking it too extreme.
No. It's the same. It's just through a modern prism, but it's the same.
No. I think if we struggle and succeed, there's this reward you get. I don't know if it's dopamine
Wait
or what
a
it
second.
is.
You're saying the pyramid builders had better job satisfaction?
No, I'm not the pyramid builders. I think that's a bad example. I think you have to struggle. You have to find things that are difficult. And doing those and accomplishing those things, it makes you feel good. You have to struggle. You need that resistance. So
that's the scam. That's the scam. No.
So
that's what they've got you doing.
This is the opposite. This is the opposite. So you're saying, if I was laying on a couch and someone was peeling me grapes and feeding them into my mouth, I'd say, put that fucking grape away. After like an hour, I'd be like, I'm so fucking bored. Like,
put the grape away?
Yeah, put the grape away. I'd be like, I want to do something. I'd be like, I want to know how to plant a grape tree. I want to tend to the garden. I want to do things.
Yeah, mate. This is just how deeply conditioned you are. This is how badly they've got you. You can't even enjoy life now. You need hardship and pain.
No, you don't want the grapes. You don't want the grapes.
You don't want the grapes.
I want challenge.
They've offered you the grapes.
I want challenge and resistance. That is within my field of resistance. Yeah, I don't want to do something too challenging. No. Just challenging enough.
No, you want your hard-earned thirst for your big cold beer, and I've had a gutful of it.
If you were just drinking beer, if all you're doing is drinking beer.
Yes.
You wouldn't be having a good time.
That's true.
I know a lot of people that just drink beer.
But the hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer is the evolution of a hard day's work feels good. Now we're not rewarding. We're working and coping. It's a cycle.
Working and coping.
Yeah. You work.
Yeah.
And then you go home and you cope. And you can do that in any manner of ways.
Well, there's some I do
some people
like
it's
it
a
when
big
I
cold
get
beer.
some. I do. Some parts of work I feel some pride and enjoy doing it, and there's a lot of parts of work I don't really like.
That's sort of normal, isn't it? And I think I feel the same way.
Now I've been doing some gardening. I could get around some gardening. Yeah, I really like a bit of gardening. It's just so time consuming.
Yes.
It's so time consuming. I like being in with the plants. I like being in with them and seeing them how they're faring. And you go different parts of the garden. You might not go back to another part for some time, and you're like, oh, look at this guy go. You know? And then sometimes they've spawned off these offspring. You're like, what is going? And then you're seeing life just doing it.
Of course. See, that is cool. And I can see the appeal of gardening. It's just there's so many things on the list that are before gardening in my books most of the time. For me to just get an edit of the podcast done is like a win.
I know.
It's a huge win. When am I going to get to the garden?
I know.
When is that going to come up? When is that going to come up? You know, when's that going to rise up the job list?
Yeah, I find with the garden, I've neglected it for years, and getting in. Now I have a bit of a habit. I have to fill my green bin on the weekend. That's something I have to do every weekend. The green bin gets collected on a Tuesday. And my one mission was, because I used to always have the excuses, I can't do the garden because I need about 10 green bins worth of space.
Right. So you just need to be outputting more green than you're getting in.
Yeah, but I realized I had to do it. I just have to start. I just had to start. So I just started. I was like, I'm just going to fill a green bin. All I can do now is fill a green bin. If I just do whatever's in my control.
Yep.
I'm going to be all right.
You're onto it, man. You're onto it.
So every weekend I fill a green bin, and I'm getting to the point that, the garden just keeps producing greenery, but I'm getting to the point where things are improving.
Wow. Excellent.
And now I'm not just fighting weeds. Now I'm actually dealing with the actual plants. And I'm trying to make it veggie.
The fun bit. Yeah, it's nice. And I've been to your backyard. It'd be cool to walk through and check on the life, make sure the life's doing
things
okay.
are changing quite a lot. You'll have to come over and check it out.
I will.
We do have mini vegetable gardens, but we want to do a much bigger one.
Excellent.
Maybe it's because I've been talking about this hunter-gathering stuff so much.
Well, it'd be good to get a head start on this stuff so you can make Christmas lunch. My parents grow a lot of stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of stuff they got going on?
Oh, heaps. You name it. They've got it.
It grows so quickly. You start
They do.
realizing
They do
plants,
corn and
yeah. Oh, that's good. Good.
proteas. Mum loves proteas.
What's a proteus? That's a flower, isn't it?
It's a flower.
Yeah.
It's a pretty flower.
You can't eat it though, can you?
You probably could.
It's so big. You probably
could
yeah.
eat it. Yeah. You just eat them.
Just cook it like cauliflower and just hope.
Chuck it in your mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they do all sorts of stuff down there at the bottom. Every time I go down there, mum will say, "Oh, come down and have a look at the veggie garden."
Yeah, should we be super proud of it?
Yeah, I'm sure she is. Well, I know they are.
See, if I didn't have to work, 9 to 5 plus,
right,
I'd do a bit more. I'd be more inclined to spend more time in the garden than I do about an hour a week, which is all you need. That's what I realised.
There you go. Well, there you go, mate.
If you do an hour a week all year, 50 weeks in the garden is, that you can get a lot of stuff done in 50 hours, should I say.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah.
50 hours, if you say you've done 8 hours a day, so you do a 9 to 5, that's 50 divided by 8, like 6, 7. It's like 6 full days of work in the garden. A year.
Yeah, no. I've just run it by my people. No, they're not having a bar of it. But there you go. You just answered your question from before. You're not fucking sitting on the thing getting grapes. You're out tending to your life. You're making sure you got enough food for tomorrow because you're self-sustainable. You're kind to the environment and to pets and stuff. You got Luffingham. He keeps you busy.
But even the way video games are structured, that you don't rest doing nothing. You build your character, right? And that feeling of building the character is very satisfying. That's how we've evolved to have that sort of that idea of improvement.
I don't know, man. I think it's all going to come back to that's just how games have decided to communicate with us because of our conditioning, because of our inability.
Our inability
to just be.
Yeah. You don't have a character and that's the character. You build like in League of Legends.
But that's just catering to that part of the mind.
Yes.
That is conditioned to want to work hard and do good and stuff. Yeah,
well, that's evolution. Yeah. Like we have we wouldn't have got here. We've had hundreds of thousands of years of striving to do things.
Mm.
And you have to have a built-in mechanism, evolutionary, to do that. Otherwise, you sit on your ass.
It's not about sitting on your ass. I think that's not it. That's not it. It's a pursuit of life. It's the bits that aren't work. Because at the moment, when I'm not at work, generally speaking, I don't feel like I'm living on the edge. I'm not skydiving. I'm not.
No, you don't need to do that. No,
not on it. No. Yeah, I'm not. I'm pretty chill.
Yeah.
I need to know when life starts. I need to know when the living begins. When does the living begin? If you tell me the living begins at like 70, I'm out.
No. I think honest to God, living, the most important two things to me at the moment, other than Luffingham and the wife. I'm not talking about people. For personal growth and satisfaction, yoga and meditation. I don't want to sound like some kind of hooligan.
You're doing it again.
It's the best. It is so good. You're talking about the moments where you're living. That is the nothing where you actually feel it's very rewarding.
Yeah, no, I get that. If I could get my brain to calm down, maybe I'd give it a crack.
And with the meditation stuff, again, It's like the green bin. You don't need to be good at meditating. Your garden's not going to be complete over the weekend.
It's just putting time in.
You just do a tiny little bit, just one green bin. You just do 10 minutes a day as a starting point, and it builds. And they call it a yoga practice, a meditation practice, because you got to keep doing it.
Yeah, they've got you.
No, that's the living. That's the part. You're saying, I don't think you'd be pleased. I do too much.
What?
Yeah, if I do too much, you say that I'm where's the downtime, the living, and now I'm doing the downtime, the living, and it's not enough.
No, It's just more coping in it.
I want to get you on some meditation.
No, we're gonna. I got to do it.
Hey, for homework, we should give each other.
All right, let's do it.
Ideas. I should go away. I want to watch The Last of Us, but I've already said that, and you didn't.
That's not homework.
No, but I don't watch that much TV. I have to force myself to do it.
But unless I watch it, we can't really talk about it.
True. Well, firstly, finish off Outlast.
Yeah. What, you want me to watch The Last of Us as well?
No, well, if you can get around to it, but I think you should do the Headspace meditation app.
All right, I'll look into it for you as homework.
Yeah.
I'll give you my review of the app next week.
Please
when we're
do.
Here.
There's a thing called the 10 for 10 course or something. It's 10 days, 10 minutes a day.
All right, that's it. That's the one. I'll get onto it.
Yeah, just do it. So good. And I'll do something. We'll figure out what I'm doing. We'll chat about my thing.
Yeah, cool. Well, if you got some homework for Nate, send it in.
Let me know.
Email us.
I need some homework.
At vacuousperspective@mail.com if you want to get in touch. And we'll be here.
I need something to do.
Give him something to do. Actually, I should check the emails. Should I do that?
Yeah, check them. It'll be so funny. We'll have an email and we'll be like, there's no time.
Can't read it. Let's see. Well, we're probably in luck.
Perfect.
Hang on. Yeah. No emails.
Perfect.
Unless we want to give some feedback to our mail providers. But we'll see you next week.
And I'm getting pumped for the 50th episode extravaganza.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Still
we
6
still got to
away.
hype that up. The live episode.
Yeah,
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happening. We'll see you next time.
All right, speak soon.